Bruh.
Been meaning to make this for quite some time. Before I start the video, let me introduce myself. I am Vincent Kong, founder of Vinceland.me, and I am here today with my associate, Mr. Kong. Thank you guys for giving us your time today. Today's video is not about Vinceland, it is about me. Now take a look at this car. This is a die cast. This is how all cars are made. Now you might be wondering, what is this crazy looking black going on about cars here? Look, like a car, everything starts from somewhere. If you have a dream, you might as well start now. It's never too late to start. I'm gonna stop rambling about that, but before I get into this video, I want to tell you guys some updates that are coming to my website. You know, for the past 2 years now, I've been actively pursuing a way to monetize my art, and so far it's been successful using third-party websites like TeePublic, Teechip, and so on, like drop shipping, but your art is on that, and some of you guys have supported me, so thank you guys for that. You're all making it possible. But starting maybe in the next month or a few weeks, less than that, I will be launching my store on my own official website, which is Vinceland.me, but with a separate domain, Vinceland.me/store or shop. But yeah, that's the update. As you can see in the next slide, it's gonna be pretty much the same products, but now there's an easier way for you guys to access it, which is through my website. You know, stickers, prints, t-shirts, hoodies. Some products will be added soon, but it takes a long time, and I'm doing it all by myself. My girlfriend's helping a bit, and you know, Kong isn't helping that much because, you know, he's just the supervisor, you know. So what can you say? Well, this video is actually about character design. How do I go about my character design? Because as a freelance artist, that's mostly what I get hired to do. Imagine stuff and draw it, or someone gives me an outline and I picture it. I draw about 10 drafts and send it to them. That's some of this work you don't see on the timeline because I can't show it. I'm legally obligated to not show it. Just call it a non-disclosure agreement. But some people have asked me, how do I go about creating characters, or how do I go about creating art for projects inspired by pop culture, like My Hero Academia, movies, Naruto, anime. I have a big Naruto piece coming on the way, by the way. But when I design a character, I always start with a voice. Me, when I was a kid, this is gonna sound so weird. I don't have a split personality disorder, but I like coming up with these voices and these names in my head and how they'll react. I don't know if you guys have seen, but some of the videos where I'll be saying, "Bring me the boy." That's how most of my character design processes start. You know, I start with a voice, then I picture what they look like, I picture what their goals are, because you know, there's more to a character than just "bring me the boy" and then just the bad guy. That's it. You know, you can't have a flat character. It has to be well-rounded character. They need to have goals, motivation, and if you're that good, you can put a character in your story that counteracts that person. That's like a full. That's the word, full. My years of literature has paid off. But let's say, for example, the bad guy I spoke about. I start off with a voice, for example, "Bring me the boy. I will decide what happens to him. Now you, back to your post." Now, how do I go about creating this character? You know, what do I picture? I picture a tall dude, you know, maybe of British or European descent, with dark black hair and weird looking eyebrows. Now, what are his goals? Why does he want this mysterious boy? And from there, I go on to create a little short story. Like on Instagram, you guys have seen these stories where people just draw a character and then they give you a background, what their goals are. Pretty much like that, but a more, I wouldn't say polished or refined, but an easier route to go. It's more of an outline part, you know. I mean, when I was a kid, I'd make comics. I made like, I think 4 comic books out of composition notebooks, and they were all back to back. This is when I was really into gaming. It was called Gamers, but it was about 4 boys. Now I didn't know anything about comics. I just knew how, and I knew it was drawings, and there was a story behind them. So that's what I went with. Now handling an ensemble character, like 4 characters, more than 1 or even more than 2, that's hard. But I think I did an okay job for a kid, so I might post some drafts from those from like the past. But back to what I was saying, when you create this character, you don't just say, oh, he just wants the boy, you know? Bring me the boy. Why does he want the boy? Then you go from there. This boy could be the key to a prophecy or something. Why does this guy? He doesn't have to be a bad guy, but he can be an anti-hero of sorts. He wants this boy so he can protect him. So he tells his guys, bring me the boy, and I will decide. To decide whether they're gonna give him up to the state and decide what to do with him, because he's the prophesied kid, you know. They can decide whether to kill him or lock him up so the prophecy doesn't come true. But this guy says, bring me the boy and I will decide what happens or what becomes of him. Now look, if you want to have a great character design process, it's not all about the art, you know. It's about the background and the story, you know. Now, my most important resource when it comes to character design is reading, honestly. You know, for artists or painters, or I think cartoonists even, people say, hey, how do I learn how to draw background art? And this is my least favorite answer. Study from real life. Oh, I hate that so much. But the crazy thing is, it's true. You can't learn without looking at real life, unless you're making some out of this world pieces like sci-fi, but still, things that we create in art is still inspired by cultures, architecture, certain aspects of our lives and society and the world that, you know, that we never thought would inspire us. Like, take for example, the buildings in Attack on Titan, you can tell they were inspired by European culture. I don't know which one, I can't remember which one. But if you look it up, just look up Attack on Titan buildings inspiration and you're gonna see that. So that's the second point I want to make about character design. It's inspiration. It's okay to have inspiration. Now, I'm not saying lift the whole design and just copy it. No, it's okay to be inspired and then be like, oh, I like this element about it, and then reinvent it and make it your own. Now, take Naruto, for example. I'm not saying copy the headband idea and just, you know, they're not going to have headbands. We're going to give them a strap on the arm. And I mean, that is a thing, but if that's how you go about it, it's gonna feel very derivative, you know. Come up with something like, take for example, Naruto. When I made those first few comics I mentioned a few minutes ago, I didn't get the idea from Naruto per se, but I got the idea from Ben 10 because I loved watching Ben 10. Now, I didn't lift the fact that, oh, he had a watch. Okay, so let's give the characters all MacGuffins to become these wild superheroes. No, I said, man, I really shouldn't talk about this from a perspective when I was a kid, but I've looked back on the things I've learned and the things that I did then, and some of them still matter today. So these 4 characters, there's 4 of them, by the way, and what they do is, because Ben 10 goes to other worlds, so you can be like, okay, I want my comic, anime, manga to be about otherworldly adventures. And that's okay. That's a nice aspect to go from. So from there, you get aspects like, oh, okay, other words are going to have different languages, different. Now, the language part, you can do that later because, like, there's a million. Is it a million? There's a lot of languages out there. But you can think about the world, what you want to be inspired by, like what architecture is going to represent that other world, what planet do you want it to be on, or what dimension. You know, it's crazy. Rick and Morty does a fantastic job of this. Now, it's a fun and comedic show, but underneath all that, it has some beautiful, I wouldn't say storytelling. I'm not qualified to say that or qualified in that way, but it has some beautiful character designs as far as background. You know, there's some characters you think are just flat and just there for comedic purposes, but boom, they slap it in your face and they have depth. So, my third thing about character design is fleshing out the design. Look, I really wish this video was accompanied by illustrations. Maybe I'll make an updated version in the future with my voice behind it, and then just the drawings to show you what I mean. But you want to flush out your design. You know, you can design one character and be like, wow, this is the perfect character. You know, this is a perfect character. You might be amazed, but it always helps to use the base of what you had and try to improve upon it. At least 7 designs minimum, or 5 minimum. So you draw one character and you're like, okay, this looks good. Now let's see what else you can do with that again. You just keep going, and you never know what you come up with might be better than what you had before, and you might like it. It's always nice to have options. That's why when I'm working for clients and they ask me and they tell me design a character this way, I'll be like, hey, I can design it the way this way, which is how they want it. But since it's a fresh idea in their head, I say, okay, I'll give you 7 drafts to work with, so they can have a choice of what to pick. They're like, because when you present them a new point of view, a new idea, they're like, wow, this is actually better than what I had before. Go with that, because when you're working with people, you don't want them to feel boxed into one idea. So you need to branch out and create new storylines or new drafts and so on and so forth. That always helps to do. That's about it for my character design process. But yeah, to recap everything I said, character design is important. Always remember to flesh out your characters, and backstory is important. An idea can come from anything as little as walking down the street and you see a really weird person, an eccentric person, and you're like, I could create a character from that guy. Ideas are bursting in our heads all the time. I have dreams where I'm a freaking airbender and stuff, doing all this crazy crap, and I'm like, shit, I gotta get this idea out of my head. So I jump on a computer, sketch it out. I'm like, okay, maybe I wasn't feeling it. Maybe I'll just keep it to the guys who made Avatar and just keep fantasizing. But some ideas are worth putting down on paper or on the computer because I'm a digital artist. So yeah. By the way, I'm wearing this cap because, I have that quarantine hair. So no one's going to be seeing my weird looking hairline for quite some time. But I think that's all I have to say, guys. And don't forget, my website store launches soon. I'll keep you guys posted. Just follow me on Instagram at Mr. Bekong. That's at MRBEKONG on Instagram. This has been Vincent from Vinceland and Associates, of course. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.